Silas Dingman is a 17-year-old drummer from Minnesota. He's been playing through his whole life and has become a very talented and ambitious musician. I first asked Silas how he got into music and drumming.
When I was 3 years old, my uncle and aunt 100% got me into the Beatles. And then I remember actually having a little iPod that my parents downloaded a bunch of Beatles songs on. I would just listen to it constantly. Wherever we were, I was always listening to the Beatles. And I think on my third birthday, I was living in Big Lake at the time. My parents got me a little drum kit, tiny little red drum kit. And that was it. I started on drumming on that.
He created a 4-man band, including his own brother Elliot, called Identity Crisis.
My aunt and uncle would always come over for Christmas or Thanksgiving or any gatherings like that. And he would always bring a guitar and we would jam on any song. And my brother would see that and he couldn't play anything. He could only play piano at the time. So he wanted to learn bass to jam with my uncle and me. And he learned bass and we just started learning songs together and jamming. And then, we got involved in like School of Rock, so we started meeting other musicians and just bringing people in, trying things out, and we ultimately just got the right people together.
A wholesome view into his story comes from videos posted to his dad's YouTube channel of Silas and his brother covering songs, which eventually turned into a channel for Identity Crisis.
I remember like almost every week, or whenever we wanted to, really, my brother and I would learn a song that we were listening to at the time. Dad would record it and put it on YouTube. I remember one time from a guy from the band Sugar Ray actually reposted the video, which was kind of awesome.
Talent doesn't come without practice. Silas told me ways that he is able to get better at what he does.
I had a DVD of this guy who was just teaching you like the most basic stuff, and I remember I couldn't even get the first beat down, and I was in my basement. I was trying all day long to get this beat, and I remember I finally got it, showed my dad and my brother, and they were stoked, and I never have watched that CD ever again. I just started listening to songs and playing along to songs. I would just play along to these songs and try to learn these beats, and I think learning songs, just listening to all types of music and learning these different beats is a much better way than looking at a sheet of paper and, finding out how it goes that way.
Silas plays lots of live performances through Identity Crisis and a few other bands. I wanted to know what it feels like to perform.
When I was 10 years old, I started drumming at my church. I remember I was drumming for like 200 people. And I was super nervous. I was in my own head all the time, thinking about what I was playing, thinking about, what my next move was going to be on the drums. And I would get super nervous. And over time, it kind of just went away. And by the time I was playing live with my own band, I never really got nervous about it.
Every musician is influenced by others, so I asked who he is inspired and influenced by.
When I was a little kid, obviously the Beatles, so Ringo Starr was a big influence on me. And then I think after that was guys like Roger Taylor from Queen was a big influence. Rick Allen from Def Leppard was huge. That was my first concert, was Def Leppard. And then after that, it was like punk rock dudes. Dave Grohl obviously was huge influence for me.
Identity Crisis has been on a couple of tours, having shows all around the country. With such a young group, I wanted him to describe the thing that many never experienced.
Gone on 3 tours now. Last summer was kind of a bigger one, I think. Was a few days longer than the last, and we went all the way out to the East Coast. And it started out great. Shows were good, vibes were good. The van didn't have AC in it again. It only pumped heat, so that was terrible. It was so bad, it was brutal. We met a lot of cool hardcore dudes, a lot of like legends in hardcore.
With being a teenager, you have to balance out school and your home life. I asked Silas how he deals with that.
Used to be in band, so I could kind of involve it with school. My parents are so supportive of it that for the home life, they never complain about me drumming. They never are upset about it, and I don't do my homework, so.
Silas is going to be graduating from Sartell High School in this month of May, so I had to know what he thinks his future looks like.
After high school, I want to get more into audio engineering. I'd like to hopefully kind of just do that as a career, you know? It's super fun. I enjoy doing it. In 10 years, hopefully I see myself not living here, you know, living in the East Coast or West Coast, somewhere. I don't know. It's hard to say 10 years.